السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله تبارك وتعالى وسلم على سيدنا محمد سيدنا وسندنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا ومولانا صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذرياته وأهل بيته ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. Alhamdulillah, by the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this second night of Ramadan, there are those who had the sa'ada, the happiness of praying with their families, their wives, and their children, the Salatul Isha most importantly, and then thereafter the Salatul Taraweeh and the Salatul Witr. Some of them reading from the short surahs, some of them reading an entire juz or even more. And some of us had the sa'ada of fasting this first fast day, the happiness of keeping this fast, and some of us had the happiness that our children fasted with us. Some of the little ones today was their first fast, and inshallah Allah give them long lives filled with the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the joy of fasting. لِلصَّائِمِ فَرْحَتَانِ. The hadith says that the one who fasts receives two exuberant expressions of joy, one when they open their fast and the other one when they meet their Lord. So Allah Ta'ala keep the little hearts of the children of the Ummah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam filled with joy and exuberance. And it's not just the kids, all of us are the children of this Ummah. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala give all of us, young and old, that same exuberant and childlike joy in this world and in the hereafter again and again. This is just a reminder that there are many people in this Ummah who may not be able to watch YouTube right now. And there are many people in this Ummah who are busy scavenging for something to eat, to even worry about it being Ramadan or not being Ramadan. Some of them are here domestically because of lost jobs and because of other circumstances, businesses that have failed and collapsed. And many of them are overseas. There are those children, the children of Sham, and children of refugee crises all over in different parts of the world, Afghanistan, places like Central Asia and places like Burma, other places in the world where the children are crying and they don't have their parents with them. And the children have gotten to the age of 7 and 10 and 12 and 13 and they don't know how to read because nobody taught them how to read. So someone can write Alif, Lam, Lam, Ha, Allah, and the child, show it to the child, Arabic speaking child, the children of the people who carried Islam on their backs, the children of the ulama, and the children of the awliya and the salihin, and the children of the defenders of the homeland of Islam from crusaders and from Mongols and from God knows what, the children of those people who carried this deen so that it could reach us. And those children can't even read the divine name. Those children can't even read the Fatiha. And what will they know about the joy of fasting? And so it's a reminder for all of us. Don't be cheap. Don't sit on your backside. Giving sadaqah is not about curing the ills of the world. It's not about curing the sickness of the world. The sickness of this dunya is terminal. It will always be there, and the dunya will die of its own sickness. Giving sadaqah is not about solving world hunger or world poverty. It never was. This is the providential divine decree that the hand of fate, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has made it such that some people will be poor and some people will be rich, some people will be tried in their dunya and some people will be tried in their faith and some will be tried in both and some will be tried in neither. We're not going to change that. However, what sadaqah is about you and me. It's about any one of us that our children fasted or our children read Quran or our children stood with us in the prayer, and it makes us happy that one of you will not perfect his faith until he loves for his brother that which he loves for himself. And so just remember those people. Don't forget them. Many of you, your local masajid or your local people are distributing food packages or care packages for Corona. I know many even ulama are doing this good work. Mufti Maulana Yasir of Al-Misbah in Sacramento in the Bay Area. Today he was featured in the news by the news in a very beautiful story where they had prepared care packages and they invited everyone of every faith and creed to come and take. and they put the prepared boxes in the people's trunks without having to make them come out of the car, which is truly ihsan. It's truly beautiful. It's an act of beauty. May Allah Ta'ala accept it. And there are people everywhere. Our own masjid in Cleveland Islamic Center has a COVID fund that they've raised, and everybody knows someone who's poor, even if those poor people are your relatives. If they're here, then that's the best, and if they're overseas, then that's wonderful as well. Everybody knows ulama overseas. Everybody knows madaris. All of the madaris, their fundraising, at least half of the funding that they get, if not 80-90% of it, comes from the month of Sha'ban and month of Ramadan, which are all in lockdown right now. So I know of many madaris where the asatiza haven't been paid, where the cooks and the security guards and the cleaners have not been paid, and those people are oftentimes at the lowest rung of poverty. There are many masajid where the funding for, one thing is like, the chandelier, let rich people show off to one another. I really couldn't care less. But when the wages are not being paid in other people's masajid, alhamdulillah, mashallah, our masjid is at least, for wages we're set, alhamdulillah, mashallah. But there are masajid in this part of the world and in other parts of the world where it's not like that, where those people are hungry and those people are suffering. If somebody, imagine that somebody has the money and they want to encourage their children to fast, so they buy them nice food and they buy them presents and gifts in order to encourage them, and they buy them beautiful clothes in order to encourage them, and another person wants to do that for their children and they're not able to. One might say, well, why would Allah do that? And we don't ask Allah why, mostly because there's no way that we can understand the answer to that question. And all we know is that Allah will judge people according to what He gave them, and we know that He gave us a lot, and our judgment is going to be exacting, and we should fear Allah Ta'ala with regards to that. And so in a cosmic sense, we don't know why. But in a very particular sense, one of the hikmahs and wisdoms of this being the case is what? Is that you have an opportunity. You can't solve someone's poverty, but you can like dip into your pocket, grab $25, grab $50, grab $5, grab $10, grab $100, grab $1,000. Take out your zakat, your sadaqah, your zakatul fitr, which are obligations anyway, sadaqah, which is an extra act of piety. Take those things out of your pocket and find somebody and just give it to them. You can MoneyGram it, you can send it through to your relatives, you can send it through any number of aid organizations domestically and abroad. Dig into your pocket and just do it. I don't work for any of these organizations, and don't call me with money that you have. I don't know what to do with it. But find the people who do and dig into it, because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his sunnah is what? Is that the worst sharul ma'akil, the worst thing to eat is the ta'amul wala'im, the feasts, the wedding feasts in which the rich are invited and the poor are made to suffer. And that's for a dunyawi, for a worldly engagement, that's a bad thing. So imagine how much worse would it be for something in the deen, that the rich are having their, mashallah, glittery and wonderful spiritual Ramadan, and the poor are, promise you, 100% guaranteed, there are poor people every year, even when there's no shutdown, lockdown. That there are poor people I've seen with my own two eyes digging through the garbage in order to get their iftar, and they say Bismillah when they eat and Alhamdulillah when they're done. There are orphans that nobody take care of, nobody taught them how to read, nobody taught them how to write, nobody taught them the Fatiha. I've seen these orphans, they're the children of Arabs. Imagine if the children of the Arabs are like this, then how will the Ajami children be? That they cannot read the Fatiha from the beginning to the end because nobody took care of them. And their families, they're knocking on the doors of the kuffar and their countries only to get spit on. And some of them come to such desperation that they throw away their deen. And there's no excuse for that. But what about the children? What about their children? That's not the failure just of the parents. It's the failure of the entire Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. So you can't fix the whole problem, but you can do something. You can do your part. If this pulls at the strings of your heart, go find somebody and give them a little bit of what you have. MashaAllah, Steve Mnuchin and Donald Trump put their Khabith signatures on a check and sent it to most of you, my countrymen and compatriots. And there are aid packages like that in England and in Canada and all of these other places. The khabasat of those names that are written on the checks, remove it, purify your wealth, remove it, take some portion of it and give it to those people that have nobody to give to them, nobody to ask for them. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Ana waliyu man la waliya lahu." I am the wali. I am the guardian of the one, and the protector and the friend of the one who has no guardian, no protector, no friend. And so whoever takes care of these people who are the awliya of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, let them hope Yawm al-Qiyamah that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam will take care of them. And the wali of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is al-wali jalla wa ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let them hope that Allah ta'ala will protect them on that day, protect their children, their families on that day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Allah ta'ala give from his generosity to those people in the ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam dunya, and Allah give through his generosity to us who are impoverished the same way, but not in our dunya, in our hearts. Allah give to us as well, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us each other for each other a means for his forgiveness and for our salvation on the day of judgment. So don't call me and try to send me your money. Just go and do it. Go find someone poor and give them your money, in order that the Ramadan can be Mubarak for them and for you as well. Wa sallallahu tabarak wa ta'ala wa sallama ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.